So I passed my Forex funds challenge or verification process on the same day, right? And I did this by only risking half of 1% per trade. Now on this video, I'll be showing you guys exactly what trades I took. I'll be going over the trades I took to pass this challenge, okay? Now, just so you guys know, I've been posting videos each week about my analysis on my YouTube channel with this in mind, right? With this playlist in mind called Passing My Forex Funds Challenge. But anyways, let's go ahead and look at the challenge that we just passed yesterday. I wasn't able to make the video yesterday, so I'm making it today, the day after in the morning. I only traded that day. I haven't placed my 0.01 lot, so my days could count, because I want to do this video for you guys first, right? So as you guys can see, I actually passed the challenge in about 4 hours was what it took me. I only traded New York session, and yeah, I'll be showing you guys exactly what trades I took and how I used the analysis bias that I gave you guys this last video I posted, right? Which was yesterday. The video analysis that I gave you guys on YouTube yesterday, or the day before. I'll be showing you how I actually used that to frame my trades for Monday's trading in New York session. So without saying more, we're going to go ahead and look at the analytics. So as you guys can see, it's the same account that I showed you on last time's video. It's the 300 44490. My Sharp ratio was 15.79. Actually, I believe it should have been a lot more higher, probably about 20, around the 20s. But there's some really nasty things that my Forex funds do to their demo accounts, even when you're live, right? I've had so much problems with my Forex funds, even when I'm on a live account, because the issue that they have with their server is that it slips you out a lot. We get a lot of slippage in their server, and that's really just not good for any trader, really. But if you're a scalper like me, I could affect you a lot. I've actually lost a live account because the stop slipped me out about like 5 points where my stop loss actually was. And since I use really tight stop losses, sometimes I have bigger lot sizes, right? And just 3 to 4 points of slippage could do a lot of damage to my account, right? Even going over $200 or $500 more than you were planning to risk. And in one occasion on the live account, this live account actually, it violated the daily drawdown, and it violated the daily drawdown while the account balance was actually over 8,000, right? And I still did not get paid by my Forex funds. That's something you guys should take in consideration about their slippage and about my Forex funds not wanting to pay the profit that you had already made. So just giving you guys a heads up. But overall, I mean, that's probably the worst issue that my Forex funds has, besides their support, because their support are really lagging. Their support is really slow, so you just have to be patient with them. But overall, I mean, they're a pretty good hedge firm or prop firm, right? They have really accessible prices and all that. And this is all an honest review. I'm not getting anything for this. But anyways, taking back to the analytics, we can see that we had the 5% gain here for the verification process. We still have 59 days left. Account status is active and not passed because, like I said, we we passed the challenge in 1 day, so we have to wait for those 5 minimum trading days to expire. And once again, here you guys see the win rate was 97.44, which once again, it should have actually been 100%. Why? Because of my Forex funds, I don't want to say a bad word, but a dumbass slippage, right? And I'll show you guys the example where I actually got slipped. And this happens every single time, every single trade, guys. And that's one of the most frustrating things that I've, like I mentioned, I've been doing or having an experience with my Forex funds. But anyways, let's go ahead and take you back to the chart here. And I'll be showing you exactly where I took the trades, right? If you look at the previous video that we had here, which is predicting the market's funded account challenge edition, right? How I passed the stage 1 and the NASDAQ review. On the NASDAQ review, around the 617 mark, or if you want to go back to the analysis around the 5-minute mark, I actually explained how I mentioned how I would like for price to stay below this second line right here, right? Which is this one right here. What line is that? It's exactly the swing low that we had already broken last week, and we're just coming back up to test it. I mentioned that I would like for that low to act as resistance, or for price to stay below that and continue down. So based off of that review I gave you guys last time, I used that that bias, or that that bias, or that framework to take my trades, right? So I'll be heading over to MT4. I'll be sharing MT4 with you guys with the trades that I took. And one more thing, I've actually, this is not the first time I've just passed a challenge account in 1 day, actually FTMO. This one here, I actually passed it in 2 days, and I believe I was risking actually less than 0.5% on these trades, right? As you guys can see, my overall losses was 380, 480, and 270, pretty much around 0.25%. But anyways, back to the challenge from today. Let's go ahead and share my MT4. Right, so as you know, we had the high, or the daily high around here, or I'll just put it here on MT4 so you guys won't get lost. Right there, it's the level that I was telling you guys that we should most likely respect or not trade higher than that, right? Which is this daily swing low. Okay, so now going back to the lower time frames, you could see my entry executions around NASDAQ here, okay? The first trade that I took, which you guys will actually see, okay, you guys will actually see on my Forex funds hit stories. You guys could see that I first took a buy with NASDAQ, right? I just took partials twice, right? I closed half first and then the other half. But I took 2 buys, which yield about a 1-to-1, or pretty much 0.5%. The 0.5% I was risking was what I yield. Oh yeah, and then you guys could see that I then later started selling S&P. And I'm going to go ahead and show you guys that on MT4. As you guys can see, here is the buy from NASDAQ, the initial buy. And we have the high above here. And we also have another high, or daily high, just below that, right? And I'll check that on TradingView right now. Yeah, the exact same high came about right there. So as you guys could see, the buy I took was actually in London Open, or not London Open, sorry, New York Stock Exchange Open, right? And what I saw is that we have not taken London's highs out, and we have not gone into or tested the daily level that I talked about in our review. So what I decided to do is to try to buy that manipulation first, which, as you guys can see, my entry's right there. I entered right there with 4 or 8 lots, 8 and some lots. My stop loss was just below this candle's buy, and I took my entries out just around above, sorry, just above these highs in here, right? Was where I took my entries, or took my exit, sorry. Why did I just take them out there and did not hold for my objective? Well, because we're in a bearish bias on the higher time frames, right? If I'm on the bearish bias and I'm gonna be buying a pair, I want to be closing my positions before we get to the ultimate objective, because they could just overall just turn around after taking liquidity, and then our trade would be hitting stop loss, right? And we don't want that. But anyways, going for the second trade, I took the second trade around this area in S&P, thinking indices will start crashing down. And here's S&P 500. Oh yeah, by the way, here's the same account, 300, 444, 90. Okay, so I took the sell here, took it at a good spot, and got out at a very low before the turning point, as you guys can see. Stop loss was just above the highs here, so yield me about 1-to-1, or pretty much 0.5% in profits. But you guys can see how I entered here, came all the way down, taking my profits at the very low, and then as I saw it turn around, I closed the full position, because I believe that we were going to make one last high before actually crashing down again, right? Which that actually was what happened. So now let's look at the other trades that I took here on NASDAQ, right? After taking those 2 trades, as you guys can see, I took a couple more trades for the sells, but on NASDAQ, right? I see I posted here my third entry for you guys. So I'll show you guys where that was. So that was my third entry right there. And then I took another entry right there, right? As price was heading down. So those entries that you guys see there, they're the ones that are on TradingView right here, right? So let's go into the 1 minute time frame, and I'll show you guys those entries a lot better. So my first entry, as you guys can see, was at the very high, 0 drawdown whatsoever, and I took partials. Well, my stop was just above the bodies of this down candle here, and you guys can see how I took initial partials right there, just a really small partial with the 2 lots. Then I took another 2.5 there and 2.5 there, thinking it could start reversing, okay, or pulling back. And you guys can see how I actually held 5 lots all the way down to there, which is where I pretty much passed my not my FTMO, but my Forex Funds account. Okay, so I took most of my positions off at the very low after selling. And this is one thing I like about scalping, guys. And I take scalping over swing trading. So if someone would be swing trading or intraday trading, they would have held this position all the way down to here, right? I mean, that's not bad. That's actually good, because you know where exactly, you know how to gain a lot of pips. But while the person, let's say this is the swing traders entry, and these are my entries, right? And this strategy that I use to pass my Forex Funds challenge accounts really fast is with high frequency scalping, right? I get in and out of the market every time, trying to boost my my return by doing so, right? So as a swing trader might hold the full position all the way down here, as you guys can see, I'm actually exiting at the very lows, entering back again at the retracement, exiting at the very lows, entering back again at the retracement, exiting at the very lows, and then again at the retracement, right? So I'm building my equity a lot higher and a lot faster than what just one small swing trade would do all the way down here. And that's one of the things that I might teach a lesson of that later on. But as you guys can see, the first trade, like I mentioned, we took most of the position off here, left about half or a little bit more than half on. We came up here and I took another position of 5 lots, right? I took most of the positions out in this same swing, moved down towards the sell side here, and thinking it could return, I placed my stop at break even. And now this is the entry that actually got slipped, guys. So if you guys check my history, here's that entry right here, right? It was 7.5 lots. So I was holding some lots there still, trying to hold it down to this level here, but market took me out. And besides that, my Forex funds slipped me out like always. So here you guys go. The price was 11,340.6, and my stop loss, I actually placed it half a point below my entry. As you guys can see, entry was 11,340.6, and my stop loss was below it at 11,340.0. But what did my Forex fund say? He said, I don't give a shit about your where your stop loss is. I'm gonna take you out wherever I want to, right? Because that's how their server works. It's a shitty ass server to not get stopped out, or of when you're getting stopped out, because they always, like I said, they always slip you, right? The take profit also slips you sometimes. Sometimes they give you better gain than what you actually were aiming for take profits, but I don't use take profits really when I'm trading. All I do is exit the market manually. But anyways, here you can see how it slipped. My entry was here, and it got me out a little bit higher, right? When my stop loss was actually lower than my entry at 11,340, it took me out at 11,340.7. So almost 1 full point. And that's just not really good, man. And this is probably one of the lowest slips that I've experienced, because I've actually experienced, like I mentioned, like about 2, 3, even up to 4 points difference, depending on the volatility of the market. And they use some lame ass excuse, but whatever, we're still here. So anyways, as I got taken out of that trade, you guys can see how I posted on my stories, right? That we had gone our trade has gone taken out, and our first entry, right, almost got taken out with this wick in here, almost hitting our stop loss, but we got back in with a better entry, right, guys? So you guys can see here how we got taken out, but we got back in at a higher entry with this entry right here. Okay, once again, getting almost the top of the market and exiting out below these lows was partials. We had another partials here, and at the very low, we closed the full position, right? This is where I closed my full position, and then price started retrace. Then here, what I did is I actually started selling just like the banks do, right? So you start selling as price is going up. So you guys could see how I started scaling in my lots, right? I initially placed an entry there. Price started moving up higher, placed an entry there. Price started going up higher, placed an entry there. And then finally placed an entry at the very, very high, right? My stop losses above these highs were actually really tight, just above these candlesticks there. So it was a really tight stop loss. That's why you see my exits being kind of close around those entries, because it was actually, you'll be a 1-to-1 here with this entry here, and 1-to-1 there with this entry there. But anyways, as price started moving down, I started taking off profits and my risk, right? I want to take out most of my lots from these entries here. As you guys can see, I closed most of them at break even, just to lower my risk. Although I was just, like I mentioned, risking half of 1% per trade. I still wanted to lower my risk just in case price would have wanted to head back up above these equal highs that it left out, right? But my plan was really just to leave them all the way down to these lows. I took almost all my positions here because that's actually when I passed my account, as you guys can see on my IG stories once again. Okay, that's where I took all of those positions I just showed you, and that's where I started closing them. As you guys can see, I already had 5K, but due to being quite slow, I closed the entries with the count balance being $53 away from the 5K, or the actual 5%, right? When later on, I actually took a buy, as you guys will see right now. Took a buy right there, right at the retracement here, just to gain those $50 and be done with the challenge, right? So that is what I want to show you guys, how I passed my Forex Funds challenge with 0.5% risking. And now that I've actually passed this challenge, what will happen to my weekly videos? Well, that is totally up to you guys. Whether you want me to continue, just let me know in the comments, or give me a like, right? If I get 10 likes on this video and 5 comments, I will continue on doing my analysis for you guys weekly, okay? Because I don't have no more responsibility to keep on giving you guys my analysis, since I already passed my Forex Funds challenge both stages, okay? So if you guys want me to continue on with these analysis I'm giving you guys week through week, go ahead and like this video and give me 5 comments, and I'll make sure I'll keep on sending my video reviews weekly for you guys, okay? Also, if you prefer to have a live session, go ahead and also, let me know in the comments area. That way I could think about stop doing the analysis videos and start trading live with you guys again, okay? Something I used to do with the YouTube community. Haven't done it for quite a while. So if you guys want it back, then we might just bring it back. Okay, so with that said, that is all for today. Remember, first comment will actually get 1 free week live trading with me and the Levels community. And if you aren't part of the Levels community yet, which they actually received a detailed explanation about my entries or where my stop loss is for these entries, go ahead and click the link below on the description to enter our Levels community. It's only $14. I think it's a good investment for you to have the day-by-day analysis from me. So with that said, I hope you guys have a nice day, and I'll see you guys next time.